Hey friends, back again, chapter 7. I'm going to kind of run through this one relatively quickly because we don't spend a whole bunch of time on intellectual property and cyber privacy. So if you have questions, email me. Otherwise, I'm going to shoot through this one. Um, Federal law protects intellectual property, patents, trademarks, and copyrights. Trade secrets, we're looking at design, pattern, compliance of data. The Uniform Trade Secrets Act gives statutory protections to particular trade secrets. And obviously, you're looking at big business companies in this regard. Lawsuits for misappropriation are brought against anyone who steals a trade secret. Defendants must obtain the trade secret through unlawful means or through lawful means. To be found guilty, they have to do it unlawfully. If they do it lawfully, obviously they're not guilty. Economic Espionage Act makes it a federal crime to convert trade secrets, and obviously you would be tried in the federal courts. A patent is a grant by the federal government upon the investor of an invention for the exclusive right to sell, license, or use that product. It's intended to provide incentive for investors to make their inventions public, and it protects patent inventions from infringement, so you can sue if somebody uses your product. It's intended for machines, processes, asexually reproduced plants. I always thought that was interesting. Articles for manufacturer, anything that's tangible, basically. It must be novel, useful, and non-obvious. That's the big thing I want you to remember. The 3 elements you need for a patent: novel, useful, non-obvious. The patent period is usually patent plus 20 years. A design patent is 14 years. A patent term begins to run from when the application is filed. 1 year on sale doctrine is for public use, and patents will not be granted if an invention was in the public domain for 1 year prior. A provisional patent is what they give first, and you'll see that on a lot of products, patent pending potentially, and then it fully goes through. Patent infringement is when somebody uses it unauthorized, and you can look for money damages or what we call injunction to stop them from using it. This was copyright now was revised in 1976, and this is usually for written documents, so artwork, literature, things like that. Registration can be permissive and voluntary and must be done at the time of the copyright. Registration permits the holder to obtain statutory damages if the work of art or literature is used. Sonny Bono Copyright Extension Act. Individuals are granted copyright protection for the lifetime plus 70 years. Now you may ask, what's the point of having lifetime plus 70 years? Well, the heirs of whoever wrote it have the ability to continue to reap the benefits of it. It can also be protected for 120 years or 95 years from the first publication. Obviously, this day and age, some people live longer than 95 years, so you can look for shorter terms. Again, very similar to patent, you can get money damages or an injunction to stop them from using it. A fair use doctrine permits certain limited unauthorized use of the copyright. So, for maybe media use, Michael Jackson's music has a fair use doctrine for use, but normally it's not used very readily. Lastly, trademark. So we're looking at any work of art or distinguishable characteristic that's attached to the sale of a good. So the Nike swoosh is a good example. Trademark Act protects the owner's investment and goodwill in the mark. So McDonald's M prevents consumers from being confused as to the origin of a product. Mark must be registered, and it can be registered 6 months prior to the use. Mark is lost if it's not registered, and the use of the symbol R is not necessarily mandatory. Marks that cannot be registered: flag, coat of arms, something that is immoral or scandalous, or geographical names. Distinctive use, a mark must be distinctive and a unique word or design. And then trademark infringement, again, you can sue for money damages or injunctions. Generic names, the term for the mark has become a common term for a product line or type. Names become descriptive rather than distinctive, and that's what we're looking for in terms of copyright. Again, we're going to go over these cases, Victoria's Secrets. Hopefully you don't have any questions. Again, if you do, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to go over and explain more in depth.